DC here. Hi guys. Well, I hope that this time that there won't be so much background noise as the last one, picking the strawberries. That was with the iPhone. The wind was pretty bad, wasn't it? Okay, so today I'd like to make a bit of a Father's Day hit. So what can we say again about Father's Day? You know, it hasn't been said forever and ever and ever. Well, no, in a way, it doesn't matter if you do repeat some things every now and then. And one of the last times that I chatted on something, I said that I'd talk to you a little bit about the swimming pool that my dad made. Now, to start off, let's put it this way. My dad is a person who has very little formal, I would say, schooling, but he's got a lot of education. Had a lot of ideas, a lot of brilliant ideas, and since we are nevertheless a family of modest means, relatively modest means, I mean, but he was rich in heart, so he wanted to see, oh, the butterfly. He wanted to see what he could do for us in that respect, and he always looked out for us in that way. Like he thought, like a pool would be good for the kids. You know, if we can't go off on vacations, we can have vacations at home. Family used to come over, which would be as well a mixed blessing. You know, I mean, you have family because when you have a pool, people come over. But how did we get about to having that pool? Well, my dad wanted to have a real pool. What I mean by a real pool, he wanted to be able to dive into it and not feel that you were going to crack your teeth after you've gone in. And well, first thing, he built a wall, a stone wall. I have to say, he had to go and get the stones. Sure, we helped him a bit, but it was a little bit, only a little bit. You know, had to go get the stones, build up that wall, and fill it in. Basically, fill the earth in. Okay, because that was going to be the total height, so to say. Then, well, you had to have a hole, so to say, with cement. So he drew that basically all in his head. He planned it, had the cement come. He knew that he had to get the right type of paint and so on. And then for the sides of the pool, he had bought second-hand, I don't know if you can call it second-hand, it is automatically, but I would say a disused silo. So a wooden silo, which meant that it all fit in. You could get the restraining bars around, and using the correct type of paint for sealing, so sealing between the joints and so on, he actually built a really, really decent pool. Built a deck next to it, diving board. I'll show you some pictures after, but I'll get to that in a second. A diving board, and we had a pool that had something like probably around 8 feet in the deepest, and something like 4 feet in the, I would say about half. It was more or less half. So it was really, really cool, and you can imagine we played a lot into it. And for heating, well, he had set up a series of black tubing, which would heat with the sun. And if that wasn't enough, he'd somehow put a wood heating that would really heat those babies up, almost up to steam. Yeah. So I mean, there was lots of things like that my dad did that were something pretty incredible, I was going to say, because it was stuff that came from him, from his conception. I'll also show a picture of where he changed a snowmobile into at least partially a summer vehicle. It was things he had in his head. When he was a kid, he used to like to go dog sledding. I don't have any decent pictures of that, actually, but we had dogs which would hitch up to 3 dogs, and we'd go dog sledding. And that was really cool. I mean, we were the only people in town that did that, and in the summer he had made a kind of a sulky type thing. I'll have to get some pictures the next time I go to Canada and make from the slides, because I've realized that a lot of these things I had in my mind, but they were in slides that my parents have. So I don't actually have all that many pictures of that period, really. Nevertheless, I mean, you'll see I threw in one picture where we had bought a Mechano set, and my dad is teaching us how to use Mechano. You know, it's like sometimes we kind of always laughed when we saw that picture, because it was a bit like, you know, Dad's dream. You know, he bought us a Mechano, and now he was showing us how to use it. We found it kind of funny, but I mean, it was a good investment. Taught us a lot of things. What did my dad bring to me? I would say, separately to the fact of bringing me up in a good family, teaching me good values, I think he taught me a lot about freedom. And when I mean freedom, it's not like that. I'd say he's probably slightly conservative, but he never forced his views on us. He wasn't in that respect an overbearing person. Very often we might have had different opinions to him, but that was usually subjects of discussion. But he accepted that. And I know that, I mean, in a lot of families it can create a lot of tension. I mean, you either like follow the family line or you don't. So there was a respect. I'd say a respect, yeah. I wouldn't go so far. I wouldn't talk about tolerance. I mean, there was tolerance as well, but in this respect, it was respect. I would say, okay, it's a different view sometimes to me. Yeah. What did he love? What did my dad love? Oh, we like to have time together with us. I shouldn't talk in the past tense, but you know, by living in Europe and the parents living in Canada, a lot of things become past tense in a while, because you can't do all those things as you used to. I made quite a long vid a while back on, well, was it 1 or 2 Father's Day back. I'll probably attach that because I can't repeat all those things. What do I keep mostly from my dad? It's a certain silent, quiet strength. My dad knew his limitations, and he always found ways of living through, I would say, hardships and joys. And that's something that's very important, especially in this day and age when a lot of things don't seem to go the way we expect them to. My dad today has Parkinson's disease, and he's becoming more limited in his movements. But it's very interesting to see that goodwill, the person that still is interested in different ways due to limitations of the disease, is still there. He's the guy who's out on the tractor mowing the lawn and things like that. I mean, it's still things that he wants to do. He wants to make himself useful. Doesn't just want to be there. And yeah, I guess that's not all I could say about him, but probably enough for today with the length of the vid, which it will be. But it's a bit my ode to my dad. I mean, we don't always get to see each other as often as we could. We're very thankful that there's Skype, because we can see each other regularly on Skype. And so in that respect, technology is great. It really is. So guys, this was kind of a half of a private vid, I guess, once again, and telling you a bit about my dad. I'll throw in some of those pictures. And yeah. You know, Father's Day is coming up. I don't know how your relationships are with your parents. Maybe they're gone. But, you know, if you want to chat about them, you can. It's one day in the year which we kind of set aside. It shouldn't be set aside just one day of the year, but that's just the way it is. By the way, Father's Day is nothing in Switzerland as such. I've said that before. It's not like Mother's Day is something, but Father's Day, if you don't do it in the family, nobody's going to mention it. Yeah. Okay, what else, guys? I guess I'll be making a vlog or two on the weekend. I'll try and make another vlog or so. Had a few things I wanted to chat about, but can't chat about it here because this will make this video way too long, which it already certainly is. I'm not looking, but I'm probably up. I'm over 10 minutes, goodness sakes. DC, signing off. Have a happy Father's Day. Joyeux fête des pères, papa. Bye-bye.